Okay, welcome. How many people are here for their very first time? Awesome, thank you. Thanks for coming out. So those of you that don't know much about us, Eagle Forum is, the Montgomery County Eagle Forum is a branch off of Texas Eagle Forum, which is off of the National Eagle Forum, which is started by Phyllis Shapley. For those of you that don't know it, she passed on a few years ago, but her name is still very alive in Washington, D.C. We went out there a couple months ago, and every place we went, there were three of us from the board that went, and every place we went, every door was open for us as Eagle Forum members, because it's so well known in Washington, D.C. And the same thing is true at the state capitol. So before we get started, I just want, if you're thinking this is a Muslim gathering, you're wrong. It's a Christian gathering. If you're thinking it's Democrats, you're wrong there too. So it's a Christian organization, first and foremost. So we're going to open in prayer, then we'll do the pledges, and then we'll get started. Everything's a little off, but we're trying to get through as quickly as we can. We've got people that need to go places.
I would you to stand as you feel comfortable. Heavenly Father, we come before your throne of grace this evening with boldness, not because of who we are, what we've done, not because of awards or accolades or accomplishments. We come boldly because of who Jesus is. We have so much to be thankful for today. We're thankful for our freedom and for those who fight to protect our freedom. We thank you for the food that we just enjoyed. We thank you for fellowship and for family and for friendship. God, you are a good God, and you bless us in so many ways. And what a difference 1 year makes. And this day, this year, we know that you've opened up a window of opportunity for your people, for your church to step in. So God, empower your people to be salt and light in a world that's dark and bland at best. Help us to be your hands and feet, your agents and ambassadors of hope and healing. Help us to take your kingdom to the far ends of this country. And God, we ask that you help your church rise up across this land. Empower them, empower pastors to speak prophetically and boldly, to speak your truth, to be a beacon of common sense and reason. And God, we ask that you continue to bless this land from sea to shining sea, from Canada to the Gulf of America. We ask you to be with our president, be with those who are in elected official positions. May they continue to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with their God. And God, we pray for those in this room who are running for office. We know that they are stepping into the fire. But we also know that there's a fourth man in the fire, and his name is Jesus. So God, right now, I pray a special protection upon those running and those serving, upon their families. I ask that you give them clarity and focus and discernment and wisdom that's beyond their natural ability. Be with the rest of us, God, as you call each and every one of us to do our part to see your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, and to see this nation once again become a nation under God, acknowledging that you are the God of existence and the God of our lives. We pray all this in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, and in the power of the Holy Spirit. And all God's people said, Amen.
Do I have a veteran that would like to come and lead us in the pledges? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, brother. So, how many know that Montgomery County used to be the reddest and most Republican county in Texas? I said used to be. Tuesday's election showed that we aren't so much anymore because Montgomery County, along with the state of Texas, voted for all of the amendments that are supposed to go into our Constitution. 90% of those were authorizing big government and spending. 90% of those should have been taken care of with a law passed by our state representatives and our state senate. And they put it on the electorate to try to make a decision with information that there wasn't enough information that was put out there for everybody. So we're not quite as blue as New York City, but if we don't start spreading the word and serving the Lord and getting things done, we're not going to be any better than Dearborn, Michigan, or New York City. And we're seeing things that are happening here in our state right now. Houston has a call to prayer down there. Sugarland had calls to prayer down there in their city, and they changed the ordinances to allow it. I don't know of anybody in here that wants to be woken up at 3 o'clock in the morning with noise like that. But that's what's happening in our state today. If we don't get a handle on it, we're going to end up the same way. And if you don't think it can happen to us, watch what's happening in London. Watch what's happening in England altogether. Watch what's happening in Europe. Look at the riots that are taking place in the other countries because they're losing their culture. When people come to the United States and they become U.S. citizens, part of it is they're supposed to mold into what we are. They came to this country because we were formed on Christian Judeo principles, God's Word. And when they get here, they want to change it. Just like they want to change it when they're coming from other states with higher taxes, and they want more things for the government to provide, so our taxes go up. So we've got to get a handle on it. We're coming up to an election season, and tonight's all about candidates. But I ask for you to not only listen to what they have to say, but do a little research and see what they've been saying all along. Look at their history if they have any, and talk to them. Talk to them personally and find out where they're coming from and whether you can support them or not. And if you decide to support them, you don't have to have feet to be knocking on doors, but it helps. You don't have to have a computer to be texting, or even your phone to be texting people, but that helps. If you got a telephone, you can call people. If you don't have any of that, and you've got a little bit of change left over in your pocket at the end of the month, send them some money and help on their campaigns. It's not an easy road. So we're going to get started. You want to introduce her? I'll let Betty take over for a few minutes.
If y'all are a little warm, we apologize. They had a little bit of trouble earlier in the day, and we're toasty. So if any of you guys or gals would like to take your jackets off, it's okay. We understand. So tonight we're going, and next month we're going to try to feature some of the chapter leaders of the Turning Point organizations here in the county. And tonight we have two representatives from different locations, and they're going to share just a few moments with us before we actually introduce our candidates and elected officials, so that one of these has to take off pretty quickly and get back home. So we're going to let them go first. First of all, I'd like to introduce Abby Libby. Would you like to come up now? And she's just going to share a few just for a few moments, what they're doing and how they're trying to get off the ground and where they're serving.
honored to be here tonight with you guys. Thank you, Miss Betty, for involving me in this, and it was a pleasure to meet Mr. Bob. A couple weeks ago at my work, they hold their meeting at my work patio, first and third Monday. I don't know if you've seen me on the waitress on the patio. Yeah, tea party. Thank you for including the younger generation in your meetings. Miss Betty asked me why I wanted to be, and the answer came easily. I became involved with Turning Point because I have a voice and I refused to be unheard. My mom always said I was a natural debater. I could debate with a wall if I wanted to. And she's right. I've always loved standing for what I believe in. I'm proud to serve as the future president of Turning Point Lone Star Conroe. And then I'm also a current member of Turning Point Montgomery. Charlie Kirk and his incredible leaders at Turning Point USA have inspired me and countless students across the nation to speak up boldly. If we have a voice, it's our responsibility to use it before somebody else takes it from us. It has helped me be unapologetic about my faith and where I stand with my beliefs. I don't have to hide from nobody anymore. I can pray in front of people and people can get offended and I don't care. To wrap it up, I want to leave you with a message from Charlie Kirk that captures what Turning Point represents to 1 million Americans across the country right now, and especially students. Turning Point represents everyone joins a movement. They are a part of something bigger than themselves entirely. Part of the most exciting, diverse, and powerful movement in the history of this country. If you would like to get involved with my chapter or his chapter, please don't be hesitant to reach out to me. Miss Betty has my phone number. I have to leave pretty early, but Miss Betty has my phone number, my email, everything. If you want to reach out to me, please let me know. We're a little bit new on the Montgomery side, so I do have to get everything back to my leaders. Thank you all for your time and encouragement and believing in the power of young voices out there.
Okay, I'm just really excited about this, and our Eagle Forum chapter has really wanted to try to help do what we can to help build these Turning Point chapters. And I've been in touch with several people too that want to actually help donate to these groups and help in a lot of other ways, however we can, like being facilitating other young people getting involved and plugging in. Sometimes it's just really hard to find what you're looking for, you know. So now our next leader is Naphtali Cruz, and he is at the Woodlands High School. So would you like to come and share just a few moments?
Hey y'all, my name is Naphtali Cruz and I am a current senior at the Woodlands High School. A little bit about me, I actually am pretty new to this area. I come from Travis County in Austin, Texas. So it was a bit of a gas of fresh air when I moved to a high school where teachers didn't have pronouns, where I had to be scared of cancel culture, which I was getting pretty much used to it over there. So when I went to the Woodlands High School, I started to see that it was a more conservative county, obviously. So I started thinking to myself, if there was maybe a small coalition going to the high school, and I realized that it was up to me to save our school's chapter. If not, it will be dissolved. And I had 48 hours to gather signatures, a sponsor, and my paperwork to follow the club. And I managed to do it, and now I'm running the Turning Point chapter at the Woodlands High School. And the person that motivated me to, first of all, even get into politics was Charlie Kirk. I admire his debate style 1v1, which is also the reason I joined my school's speech team, and I really wouldn't even be into politics if it wasn't because of Charlie Kirk. So he's really one of my biggest inspirations when it comes to this. So I just wanna stop by and introduce myself. So thank you, y'all.
Okay, now, Bob, I think I'm turning it back over to you. We're gonna introduce candidates and elected officials and precinct.
Yeah, first we'll go ahead and we're not going to introduce all the candidates until it's time for them to come up. But we'll do elected officials. If you would stand, just tell us who you are and what position you're in. Start with Glenn.
I am Gwen Withrow, and I am very proud to be the Montgomery County Republican Chairman.
Hi, Braden Deckard here on behalf of Texas State Representative Tito. Right now from Montgomery County, Mud 7, Montgomery Mills. And I'm Mark H12 Mud 95 Director. I'm Brandon Simon, I'm the Montgomery County Clerk running for election. John Miche, Vice President of the North Shore Groundwater Conservation District.
My name is J. Mac Sanders, you can call me J. Mac, and I'm Justice of the Case for Precinct 3.
Mike Holly, District Attorney of the greatest county in these United States.
One story groundwater conservation. Ryan Gable, Montgomery County Constable, Precinct 3.
Misty Odenweller, Board President, Conroe ISD School Board. Nicole May, Conroe ISD School Board. And Tiffany Nelson, Conroe ISD School Board, First Vice President.
And I'm Bob Bagley, Montgomery County Hospital District. Do we have any precinct chairs here? If you go ahead and stand, tell us what your precinct number is and a general idea of where it's at.
Kristen Plaisance, Precinct 37, that's southeast Montgomery County.
Kat Rummel, South County, Sawdust.
Brad Vickers, Precinct 39, Collier Cemetery, Keenan Cutoff area.
Luis Pedraza, Conroe, Stewart Forest, Crichton Woods area.
Melinda, Precinct 2, and my precinct is geographically one of the largest. Woods Forest, Pinecrest, Ladera, all of the new subdivisions east of 1314 and west of 1314 and east of 3083, and from 105 down to the loop and all the way around.
Precinct 70, basically in the Woodlands, near where the high school is.
Okay. Melinda Lynn, Precinct 89, and I am Honia, Egypt, going west down 1488 and to HEB. And then on the left-hand side, I have the Westwood and Cimarron Creek and Oakcrest. New Magnolia.
Stephanie Cox, Precinct 98 in the Woodlands. That's the northeast corner of 242 and Epic 14.
Betty Anderson, Precinct 31, that's the east side of the Woodlands, Shenandoah, and South Conroe.
John Wertz, Precinct 69, Alden Bridge.
Lori Clifton, High Meadow Ranch in
near Conroe High School and west down 105.
I'm Bob Bagley, Precinct 24, Chetco Woods, White Oak Estates, Tama, and a little bit of Chenandoah. Okay, do we have any prior military veterans? If you would just stand and we can acknowledge you. Anybody have family currently serving in the military? If you would stand. You know, it's hard on us when we get deployed, but most of the time we leave a wife and kids behind as well, and so it's just as hard, if not harder, on them. They don't have the PTSD to deal with that we do, but they have a lot of other things they have to do. So, thankful. Do we have any preachers or pastors in here? Okay. Election season. So Betty passed out some information. A lot of people don't know what different jobs are. If you didn't get one, raise your hand, and Dana White will be absolutely happy to pass them out. Something to look at. So we've got a good lineup. We're trying to get in like 4 minutes for each candidate that's running tonight. And so it's going to be kind of rapid. I know we'd like to have a half an hour for each person, but they do serve breakfast here. Well, we can get them to, but I'm not sure we really want to. So the first ones I'm going to call on is State School Board of Education for position 6. And that's Tiffany Nelson and Barbara Denson. So, Tiffany, if you come up, you're first on the list.
Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you all today, seeing so many familiar faces out there. My name is Tiffany Nelson. I currently serve on the Conroe ISD Board of Trustees as first vice president. Was elected in 2022 and have decided to run for State Board of Education District 6. District 6 makes up the majority of Montgomery County and Harris County and has about 2 million people that are part of the district, which is about double the size of a congressional district. It's a giant district. I'm excited about the run. A little bit about me and my background. I went to 21 schools when I was a kid and really just fell in love with education. Education was my way out. So it was my opportunity. Paid for college on my own, was the first person in my family to graduate from college, got my undergrad in business, got my master's degree in Christian ministry from Liberty, cum laude, and have just given my life to nonprofit work and public service. I've started out back in my early 20s working with several different nonprofits and continue to walk that path. About 13 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer, turned that into a nonprofit for research, and just continued. I've served at a food rescue nonprofit, a veteran service nonprofit, and now I'm a nonprofit consultant and love what I do. And one of the things that introduced me to the State Board of Education is back in 2022, as our former board president back there, but he was the one that said we tried to get something done at a hearing to include intelligent design to compare and contrast to the Big Bang Theory. And he pushed me and encouraged me to take it up with the State Board of Education. And about a year later, intelligent design was then added to the curriculum to compare and contrast to the Big Bang Theory. And I thought, whoa, this is so much bigger than our Conroe ISD school district. This is now a statewide thing. So we continue to work with them. We passed some instructional materials. HB 1605 was passed, and high-quality instructional materials became introduced. And at the district, we brought in Bluebonnet, which is one of the 2 high-quality instructional materials that It's introduced structured literacy and removes things like Lucy Calkins and 3Qing. And we're really excited about it. It also has Old and New Testament references to historical references, which we're really excited about as well. And worked to get the 10 Commandments posters posted in every classroom. I went out and got the funding for all 6,500 classrooms. Conroe ISD is the 7th largest school district in the state of Texas. Led the charge on a Title IX, keeping boys out of girls' bathrooms. We recently passed a policy that to align with Trump's executive order to that there's only 2 sexes. And so this policy not only aligns with SB 12, but it takes it a step further where not only can you can't be called a different name or a pronoun, but you have to be called what's on your birth certificate, and your parents can't give you permission to be called anything else. And really excited about the things that we had the opportunity to get done. There needs to be a timer because I think I'm getting close, but I'm not sure. But, okay. Well, I'm really thrilled to be here with you. I'm excited about the opportunity. The day that I was up at State Board of Education was when they had the social studies TEKS. And as you can see, here's some of the things that the State Board of Education does. Basically, they set the graduation requirements. They help write the TEKS, and also with instructional materials. They approve charter schools, and they manage the permanent school endowment fund, which is about $80 billion. So the day that I was up there was the day that they were deciding on the new social studies TEKS. And the gentleman that currently serves in our position continued to vote with the Democrats with the framework that was very heavy on U.S. or on world history. And it sort of was erasing U.S. and Texas history. And so finally, after a lot of pressure on that Friday, he ended up changing his vote. But that Wednesday I was there, and that's the day that charter was murdered. And that was the day that I decided to run into the fire and face the giants and put my name in the race. I was sitting about ready for State Board of Education District 6. Thanks, guys.
Barbara. I know I have your 1 minute sign here, but it's not working well.
About time on 4 minutes?
Okay.
4 minutes? I'll give you a minute warning.
I'm Barbara Denson, running for Texas State Board of Education, District 6. District 6 really is huge. It starts here, goes out to Montgomery, goes all the way down almost to Katy, and then sweeps over to almost into the 610 loop part of it. So almost 2 million people. It is a big job to be here. The State Board of Education approves textbooks, and they approve charter schools, and they oversee the $60 billion permanent school fund. There are a lot of issues. The one that got me involved in it is how climate science is being handled in the science books. They are no longer teaching kids how to think. They're teaching them what to think. They've taken out critical thinking and the scientific method. I worked with a group of engineers and scientists, and when we were able, during COVID, to look into the books and see all this and find out what was going on, we put together a 59-page report of all the errors, omissions, bad science, liberal activism inside the books. We took it then to legislators trying to change the TEKS standards, but we were a little late getting there. We had just learned all this. They all already had their priorities set. I personally called every single legislator on the education committee. We did get Leo Wilson to submit a bill for us. However, since they were all already swamped, it didn't make the calendar. So they said, don't worry. It's the first time the bill was submitted. Come back in 2 years. You'll get it done again. I'm like, we can't wait 2 years. We can't have kids learning bad science for 2 years. It's just wrong. So we heard we could go to the State Board of Education, present our report, and that they would then send it on to the publishers who would either make the changes or would have to justify what they've got in the science books. Well, that was in June. They had a September meeting. Nothing moved forward. Someone has to advocate for this. Somebody on the State Board of Education has to push and do things and make it happen, and that's why I'm running for State Board of Education. There's a lot of other issues that need to be resolved that I found out since I started looking into this. There's DEI and CRT embedded in the literature and in the history books. I am pro-life. I am limited government. I am a magna cum laude engineer. I've worked in science. I'm retired now. I have the time to devote to this. I have the education. I have a plan to move this forward. Unfortunately, I only have 4 minutes right now, so I can't tell you all of it, but I'm sitting in the back there. Please, if you want to hear more, I'd love to tell you more. I'd love your support. Barbara Denson, State Board of Education, District 6. Thank you.
And while we encourage you to speak to the candidates afterwards, not during the meeting. That way we're showing respect to the others that are up here speaking. Oh, okay. Congressional District 8. Jessica Steinman, Nick Tran, and Brett Jensen. Jessica's up first, Nick, and then Brett. Louise has the timers.
All right, I'll watch it. Hi, I'm Jessica Steinman. For those of you who don't know me, I'm running for Congress in Texas 8 that retiring member Congressman Morgan Luttrell is retiring from. Morgan has endorsed me in the race. So just to make sure we're all awake, who thinks President Trump needs a fighter in D.C.? Raise your hands. All right. Who thinks we need a proven conservative leader in this seat up in D.C.? Yeah. So that is exactly why I'm running. I am the only one in this race that is both of those things. I have been a fighter for President Trump for the last decade, and I'm the only one in this race with a proven conservative record. So let's go through a couple of those. Fighting for President Trump. We don't need someone that's going to go up to D.C. and learn to become a fighter up in D.C. and learn how D.C. works. I know how it works. I can get up there. I'm fighting up there right now, and I'll go in day one and be ready right away to get things done. I work with the administration and the president right now, day in and day out, and this will be a smooth, easy transition for our community to get things done. Secondly, we need, I think Bob said it best in his intro, we need proven conservative leaders. Go back and look through all of our candidates here today. Look at our records. Look at my record. I have been fighting for the conservative movement my whole career. Look at that. We don't want to send someone up there that talks about conservative things but has nothing to prove it. We've seen that before. We've seen that in our county and in our state before, and they get up to DC and vote differently. You can look at my record and you'll know how I will vote because I've said it before. I've said it on TV before. I've said it in newspaper articles. You can come and talk to me about it. Lastly, we need somebody that is with President Trump. There are going to be a lot of people in this race that says they are the Trump person, they're the MAGA person. Of course, everyone is with President Trump right now. But I'm actually the only one in the race who works for the president. I was in the president's first administration. I was there at the Department of Justice fighting human trafficking with the president. Right now, I work for the president's think tank, America First Policy Institute, fighting, again, for the president's agenda. I actually have represented the president in his fight against Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube when they deplatformed him. You guys remember this back in the 2020 election. I am one of his lawyers that fought for him against big tech. When he was sued by Alvin Bragg, the DA in New York, I sued Alvin Bragg. So I have been fighting for the president and pushing back against the left's woke lawfare. Secondly, let's look at this left woke agenda we see. I have actually sued the blue states, pushing back on boys and girls sports, pushing back on school boards that have transitioned kids. I've sued those school boards. Election integrity. I've gone into our purple states and pushed back on election integrity fraud around our country. And then our military, I've actually represented our military against the Biden administration when they tried to mandate the COVID vaccine on our military. I represented 36 of our Air Force and the largest religious liberty military case. So again, this is such an important role. It's important for our community, and it's important to send someone up for President Trump that is ready day one to lead. He doesn't need reinforcements. He doesn't want people that are going to go up there and start to learn how to become fighters, learn how to do the job. He needs people that will be there in the last 2 years of his administration that can go in and get things done right away. So I appreciate everyone here today. I would love, I have a lot of different endorsements in this race, and I think endorsements, I know a lot of people are upset about how endorsements have been going right now in our state. I would say all the endorsements I have are people that I've actually worked with. So Morgan Luttrell, Senator Cruz, Dan Patrick, our state senator, Brandon Creighton, about 50 of our local elected officials here in Montgomery County, local former and prior elected officials. And again, these are people that I've actually worked with, like former DHS Secretary, Department of Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf. I've worked with him on immigration policy. I've been down to the border with him. I've worked with CBP. So my time is up, but I would appreciate your vote, your support, and I would be honored to represent you.
Nick, you're up.
Man, Tuesday was a slaughter. I don't know about you, but like Virginia, Jay Jones, the guy that called for the death of conservatives and their children, is now the DA of Virginia. And, 24 years ago, planes filled with Islamic terrorists hit the towers, killing thousands of Americans. We went to war. 20 years with battle cry. We will not forget. Well, last Tuesday, we forgot. We elected a Muslim socialist, radical Muslim socialist as the mayor of New York. What concerns me is not the fact that we are losing New York, it's the fact that it is an inspiration for the left to say that if we can take New York, we can take the rest of the country. Folks, make no mistake. We are at war. And you need somebody who's experienced at fighting. I've seen war all my life, from the day I was born. My story is one of the American dream. I'm a husband, I'm a father. I worked in oil and gas for 30 years. But more importantly, I was a Vietnam War refugee. I came here with just the clothes on my back. I escaped Vietnam when Saigon fell, when the communists was coming into my city, taking over our country. I was stranded on a boat with 100 people, small boat. We were dying of hunger and thirst. For 3 days, we were stranded on the ocean. Most people started dying on the third day. And luckily, by the grace of God, we were rescued by an American warship. They heard our SOS message, rescued us, and took us to Guam, where we lived in that refugee camp until we were granted political asylum to come to the United States legally. Even though I was just a toddler, at that moment, I knew I was going to be an American. My father always taught me, if you go to somebody's house, you respect their house rules, and you try to give back. And that's exactly what I did. When I was old enough, I enlisted in the Army, fought in 3 different wars, fought in Desert Storm, Afghanistan, and Iraq. My career wasn't built, my resume wasn't built being a political activist in D.C. It was built on the battlefields of Afghanistan, in the mountains of Afghanistan, in the streets of Iraq, in the deserts of Iraq. It was built in the boardrooms of oil and gas. I worked for Schlumberger, the largest oil and gas company in the world. I built a global program, helping vets get off the streets, getting the help they need, and hiring thousands of vets. I'm running for Texas 8 because I was tired of seeing our country get destroyed from within. I swore an oath to defend our Constitution in this country from all enemies, foreign and domestic. While I fight overseas, I see our country getting destroyed from within by the radical left, by the deep state, and by the establishment. And I was tired of seeing the establishment candidates failing us over and over again. Yes, I'm new to politics. I'm a political outsider. But that's my strength. I've learned how to fight. I know how to run the business. And I represent the people. I want to be chosen by the people, not by the political elite. I'm not anointed. I'm not the establishment backfill. I'm Nick Tran. And to learn more about me and what we're fighting for, it's nicktranfortexas.com. And one of the things I'm fighting for is to secure our borders, protect our Second Amendment, protect our God-given constitutional rights. On November 23rd, I'm hosting a women's-only pistol shooting class for free, just to give you guys the ability to protect yourself, because as conservatives, we are targets of the left. Thank you.
Brett, are you here? Brett Jensen?
Not here.
Not here. Going once? Going twice? Anybody want to take his place? All right. Next is going to be House District number 3. That would be Cecil Bell. Cecil, you're here. Going once, going twice. Anybody want to be Cecil? No? Okay. Kristen, would you like to?
I'm here. I will always show up for you. My name is Kristen Plaisance. I'm running for Texas House District 3. I want you to imagine that your grandparents left you a trust full of money, and your trustees used your money to fund their friends' special interests, and even helped them realize their little Hollywood and Texas dreams, all while ignoring your voices and leaving you drowning in debt and taxes. Government is a trust. The Texas government has violated that trust. They're operating way outside of their constitutional authority. They're growing the government to an oppressive degree. I want you to try to think of 5 things you can do in Texas without any government interference whatsoever. They're overspending at an alarming rate and overtaxing us to pay for all of it. Don't let your recent tax bill fool you. They could have doubled that small tax relief you just received, but they chose special interest instead. The people of Texas are hurting and being priced out of their homes by tax because our trustees are ignoring our constitutions and they have forgotten who they serve. Texas is not the fortress of freedom and small limited government it was intended to be. And the larger the government grows, the harder it will be to stop it. If we don't take a stand now, the Texas government will end up just like California and New York, and there will be no place left to escape. I'm all in this fight. I've spent the last 5 years working full-time to restore this state to the constitutional principles that made this nation the greatest nation in the world in a very short period of time. Well, we can do that again, and we can start right here in Texas. I've pledged my time to this fight, and today I pledge my fortune. I announced today that I will pledge up to $100,000 of my own money to pledge this fight. But I can't do it alone. $100,000 is a fortune to me and my husband, but it is nothing at all to the big donors who back these establishment candidates and want to stay in power. We will need to raise at least another $100,000 to reach every voter in District 3 before March 3rd. It's insane that this is what it takes to defend our freedom. But freedom isn't free. I need your help. Tell everyone you know about my campaign and my fight for liberty. You will know someone in my district that can vote for me. We need conservatives in every office to make a difference, so even if you don't live in my district, please donate to my campaign. Even $5 from a lot of people can go a long way. I also have t-shirts for sale in my store on my website that are really fun. And if you can't donate, please volunteer. We need block walkers. We need phone bankers, people that can help us get the message out. please come speak to me tonight. I'd love to meet every one of you. I'm Kristen Plaisance, running for Texas House of Representatives.
Okay, next is Congressional District 2. Dan Crenshaw, are you here? No? Steve Tote, he's out of state.
He's not here, but I'm not going to be speaking on behalf.
Okay, he's out of state, so that's okay. The other one's just not here. You know what I mean? Ava is not here. Mark Eatwa, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here today. My name is Martin Eatwa, and like you said, I'm running for Texas 2nd Congressional District. Today, it's I think day 37 of the government shutdown. How many congressional members have you heard that have given up their money? They are not getting paid. I heard Ted Cruz say he's not. That's one. Here's the deal. Members of Congress should not get paid when there is a government shutdown. We should not be having private individuals donating money to our U.S. military to get paid, while members of Congress, they're getting paid. So how about we switch it? Actually, today I drafted legislation. I'm trying to polish it. Any of you want to help me, send it to members of Congress, or I'll figure it out myself. And the legislation basically says this. Our members of the U.S. military, when there's a shutdown, they get paid. Meanwhile, members of Congress, when there's a shutdown, they do not get paid. And not just that, they don't get back pay. You miss a pay, you miss a pay. I'm running for Congress because we need a fight in Congress. I've been fighting for Texas for the past 3-4 years now. I'm an attorney, public interest attorney, constitutional attorney, and so basically I hold government accountable. And while doing that, actually recently I just filed a lawsuit against a judge and a DA for not following law. Even after the appeals court ordered them to do something, they decided, we're not going to do it. So I filed a mandamus against them and they just responded. So I've called the Attorney General's office to join me in the case. And I'm sure we're going to win against a corrupt DA and maybe a corrupt judge. And more than just fighting in the courtrooms, before people were talking about Title IX, I was doing that. Before it became a big deal around the nation, I sent 700 letters and emails to school board members around the state, to 700 school board members telling them, defend our girls. Deny the boys access to the girls' bathrooms. I was doing that before anybody was doing that. And I was meeting with the DOJ attorneys, the Biden DOJ, telling them, using Title VII to argue to have boys in those bathrooms, that's illegal. I was telling them that. So I've been fighting for Texas. And our country's broken. We need someone who's going to fight for our kids. I have 4 kids. And I can't afford, Mom Danny, unfortunately, he won. He's a disgrace to Uganda, where I came from. But of course, Uganda is a crazy country. But a man like Kash Patel, he's also from Uganda. So I ally with him more than with. And I do not want my kids growing up in Uganda and America. Growing up in Texas, like they're growing up in New York City right now, I do not want that. So that's why I'm fighting, because I've seen what socialism does to a nation. what all this radicalism does to people. And I cannot afford to sit back and have my kids go through that. And that's why I'm running for Texas 2nd Congressional District. My name is Mark Etwab, marketwab.com. You can support it however way you like, but let's talk. I'll be at the back, and we can win this together. Thank you very much.
Looks like we struck out on this one, HD 15. Nobody wanted to come for tonight, so we're going to go to HD 16. Will Metcalf, are you here? Sorry. Mr. John Boucher. No, don't be bold, so you shout. We don't have time for that.
I heard those first two speakers. One said they were summa cum laude and magna cum laude, and I've graduated no good laude. So, well, my name is John Boucher. I'm running for Texas House District 16. There's a lot of things to talk about, legislative priorities, but you can find those on my website at boucherfortexas.com. I want to talk about something a little deeper tonight, and that's the operation of the Texas House. It is dysfunctional. When the Texas House was founded in 1845, it was supposed to be a Republican form of House. Article 1, Section 2 of the Texas Constitution pledges that we would have a Republican form of government. But do we have that right now? No. We have representatives who are unaccountable right now. They're accountable to no one. Every 2 years, yes, they're accountable at the ballot box. But when 26 Republicans get up out of their chair and betray their constituents and walk down the hall, there should be a recall process, right? Yes. We have a Speaker of the House that has amassed and accumulated power over the last few decades, such to the point that it's near dictatorial. He is the most powerful politician in the state of Texas. He has the position and power to defy the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor of the state of Texas. And that undermines the confidence of the people. It undermines our checks and balances. It's not a good situation. Right now, we're looking at a deal where everybody's wondering what's going on in this country. We have President Trump, who is going after fiscal conservatives like Rand Paul and Thomas Massey, and he's endorsing people like Lindsey Graham and every rhino member of the Texas House, including my opponent. Well, what's going on? Well, that speaks back to that Speaker of the House having too much authority, has too much power. And there is a way to fix that. And I've been working on that right now. I'm not waiting until the gavel falls on January 12th, 2027 to start trying to fix it. Because that's what we've been doing in the Texas House for over a decade now. We wait until the bad thing happens and we scream the entire session about how bad it was and we don't fix it. We're going to fix it this time. We're going to get the Texas House Republican Caucus working with the Republican Party of Texas this time, and the 254 counties across Texas to bring accountability and checks and balances back to the Texas House, so that when 26 Republicans get up and walk out and stab you in the back, the retribution will be immediate. It will be swift, and it will be on behalf of the Republican Party of Texas, the House Republican Caucus, and 254 counties across Texas, when their constituents receive a letter in the mail saying, your person just betrayed you, find somebody else. That's what we need to do. We have not been doing that. It won't be easy, but we can do it. I know many of you are wondering about these endorsements right now, and with the Speaker having that much power that he can leverage to get concessions from the President of the United States before he passes legislation, that is a bad situation. We need to fix it. Texas, we need to step up, and we can do it. Are you all with me on that? Yeah. Finally, I do have an event on November 13th at 6:30 p.m. at Papa's on the Lake. Food and drinks are provided. Would love to see you there. I'd be happy to tell you more, and I'll be here to answer your questions. God bless you, and good night.
District Court. Joanne Linzer and Michael Gutzman. Joanne, you're first on the list. Okay.
Okay. Are y'all scared of Harris County? Are y'all tired of that revolving door of criminals who are coming into our county every day? Good, because I am too. You should be. You should be scared of that. But you know what the good news is? That we have the best judges in the state of Texas here in Montgomery County. We have judges who have experience in the criminal courts. Our felony judges and our criminal judges each have over 20 years of experience in criminal law. Don't you want a judge who has that kind of experience to serve in the 359th District Court? You should. Well, I have that kind of experience. I have been a criminal lawyer for over 20 years. I have been board certified in criminal law for more than a decade. I've tried over 100 jury trials in courts across the state of Texas, but also in Montgomery County. I've had the opportunity to train lawyers, to train law enforcement, and even our judges. And I think that that is the kind of person, that's the kind of experience that Montgomery County needs. And that's the kind of experience that Montgomery County deserves. Now, my experience is built on a legal career that I am proud of. But also, it's built on a personal history here in Montgomery County that shaped me. I have been a prosecutor. I have been a special prosecutor. I've been a criminal felony court prosecutor where I was the chief of the court. I've been the first assistant district attorney, an interim district attorney, and now a defense attorney. And that experience is important because I understand the playing field. I can call balls and strikes in a trial tomorrow, and that's what our judges do. And I wanted to let you know a little bit about me. I'm from Montgomery County. This is my home. This is where my husband and I raised our son, Jeremy, and where he raises our grandkids. This county's safety is important to me because I care about my family, because I care about my friends. And I care about the law. And I want to let you know that for those of you who know me, you know that there is nothing more sacred to me other than my family and my faith than the law. I will bring my experience to the court to be the next judge of the 359th. My name is Joanne Linzer. I'm running to be your judge of the 359th District Court.
Mike. I didn't turn around far enough.
Good evening. I have 5 little children. And they asked me, they said, Daddy, where are you going tonight? I said, kids, I'm going to Incredible Pizza. They said, can we come? I said, no, babies, you can't come. They are pissed. I am Michael Gutzman. I am the Major Crimes Chief at the District Attorney's Office in Montgomery County. I am board certified in criminal law, and I should be your next judge of the 359th District Court. Let me tell you why. I started my career off at Texas A&M University. I got a degree in economics and a master's in public service and administration. Let me tell you why that's important. From the get-go, I have been 100% dedicated to public service. That is what I've done through my education, and that is what I have done through my career, and that is what I want to continue to do for you. I went to the University of Houston for law school, and I started my career in Harris County. I was a prosecutor there. I was hired by Devin Anderson as a pre-commit, and I had a front row seat for what it looks like when soft on crime defense attorney Democrat judges take over in Harris County. I can tell you firsthand from having that experience when Kim Ogg took over, how things deteriorated. And after Hurricane Harvey hit, I knew that it was time to come back home. I went to Montgomery High School. I went to work for Brett Ligon at the district attorney's office, and I am proud to say that I have had an opportunity to raise my family in the best county in the United States of America. Now, Brett will tell you he doesn't let anybody just come and work for him. We have the best prosecutors in the entire state of Texas, and as one of Brett's prosecutors, I have worked through the ranks. Now as the chief of the major crime section, I handle the non-domestic violence homicides, those that we have in the county. I do all the overdose death investigations, which means when somebody pushes fentanyl in your neighborhood and someone dies as a result of it, I handle that case. I handle all the gang-related matters. I handle confidential sources. What does that mean? The area of law in which I practice in criminal law has certain specialty areas in it. I have done internet crimes against children. I have worked proactive cases with law enforcement all the way through investigation to trial. I have the requisite skills and experience to be your next judge. What the measure of commitment looks like for somebody that you need as your public servant in office for the 359th District Court is someone that has had a lifelong commitment to serving this community. You have plenty of politicians that have come before you and have talked to you about how they're committed and how they want to do the right thing. Well, here's what I'd ask you to do. I'd ask you to look at the people that have their hands in the dirt, that are fighting to protect you every day. Are there any police officers in the room? I know we've got a few. We've got one there, we've got one there, we've got some folks in the back, and we've got a gentleman right here that's the Constable of Precinct 3. I have worked operations hand in hand with Constable Gable to run search warrants and to take bad people off your street. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the 5,300 members of the Houston Police Officers Union and the 28,000 members of the Combined Law Enforcement Associations of Texas and the Coalition of Police and Sheriffs would not have endorsed me if they did not trust me to keep Montgomery County safe. I also have endorsements from 9 police chiefs in this county. Now, what do they know that I want each and every one of you to take away tonight? They know my measure of commitment. They know my resolve. They know that I'm skilled. They know that I'm board certified in criminal law. And I'll tell you what, so does your former district attorney, Brett Ligon. I am proud of his endorsement. Put me to work for you. You will not regret it. Michael Gutzman for judge of the 359th District Court.
Okay, County Commissioner number 2. Charlie Riley. Charlie Riley. Charlie Riley. No Charlie Riley. Okay. Adrian Kaiser and Bob Harvey. Adrian, you're up first.
Last name I thought disappeared from the county, but okay. Good evening, my name is Adrian Kaiser. I am running for County Commissioner Precinct 2. Some of my qualifications are, since I was 13 years old, I've been actually working. Summers, I worked for my father's construction company. Out in the blistering heat, all summer long, while the kids were playing in the pool, I was digging ditches and cutting down trees. So, been doing that for a while. I got my certification as a welder directly out of high school. Took a welding course in high school, got my certification as a trade. Jumped into the workforce directly after high school, minus a small semester of college, which I just couldn't afford after that. But, went to work welding on construction, roll-off containers, and big commercial vehicles, and anything I could fix. With a welder that was required, I did it. Upon graduating high school, my dad sold me half of his landscaping company, which was actually basically a wholesale tree farm. We sold trees to several developers. I'm at a ranch as a big customers of ours. We sold a lot of trees out to them, and then just planted them, learned a lot of landscaping. I learned a lot from that. Landscaping, dishes, all sorts of stuff of that nature. And then I also became a shop manager for my father's company and worked on, while I was welding, if I wasn't doing that, I was fixing roll-off containers, heavy equipment, including excavators, bulldozers, whatever I could fix, I'd learn it. Not perfect at it, but I can get it done if it needs to be done. All of that, I believe, will make me invaluable as your county commissioner. It gives me the know-how experience to actually go out there and fix a problem when When the guys are out there working, something breaks, I can get out there and fix it. Or at least diagnose the problem relatively quickly, get somebody more qualified to come out there and fix it. We have a lot of issues out in Precinct 2. We're one of the fastest growing portions of the county, other than Precinct 4 over near 99. 2978, 774 are growing like crazy. Honey, Egypt, that area is booming. Got a problem with flooding because we're overdeveloping. Now, as county commissioner, we cannot reject anybody that they want to develop. What we can do is when they submit the plans to me for approval, we can look and see how are they addressing the problems of flooding, how are they addressing the road construction, how are they, as developers, wanting to build communities here, build homes, how can we work with them to make sure that we're actually going to, the people that live here aren't going to suffer from these long construction projects, and they're not going to suffer from all this development coming in. Want to lower your taxes? We don't actually have a very high tax rate on the county level. The big tax rate is actually coming from your school district, whether it be Conroe, whether it be Magnolia, whether it be Montgomery. Your largest tax dollars and your property taxes are being spent at the school district. But I will do what I can to be a good steward of your tax dollars. Apart from that, roads, bridges, maintaining that. We have a lot of places out here where we can connect roads, maybe make transportation easier, make driving through it. I know a lot of people are going to complain about 1488, but sadly that's a state road, that's something we could do. But one thing I could have done is sat with if I was county commissioner, is sat with the developer, the engineer. Told him, hey, maybe you don't need medians all the way from one end of 1488 to the other. Maybe just halfway, maybe just where businesses are, not where the neighborhoods are, not where they're connecting. You didn't need that. All of that to say I have the experience to actually get the job done, and I have, most of you know, I can good with people, so I can talk to some people that actually might need a little bit convincing to change their policies here and there. But I plan on doing the work for you guys, opening up my office, transparency, and making it easier for the residents of Precinct 2 to contact me when they have an emergency and when something needs to get done. I'm Agent Kaiser. Thank you for your time. And just one final thing for all the people running for Congress. When you get there, just remember, Nancy Pelosi will not be there because she announced retirement today. So,
Man, that's the best news I've heard all day. Mr. Harvey, the less than beery one.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Nice to see some friendly faces out in the back there. Thank you very much. I appreciate the mustaches. My name's Bob Harvey, and I'm running for County Commissioner of Precinct 2. And I'm a businessman, I'm not a politician, so this is a little bit rough getting up in front of people and talking about politics and things, although most people that know me say I never shut up about politics. I spent 42 years in the oil and gas industry. I started out on the rigs. I ended up as a turnaround executive working for companies such as Schlumberger, Halliburton, Weatherford, and the Gates Corporation. I went into foreign countries and turned around their operations because they were losing money, they were poorly performing, or they had serious issues. The first thing that I did when I went into a country is I had a financial forensic audit so that I knew exactly where we were standing with every dollar and every penny in that country. The second thing that ran simultaneously was an ethical compliance audit. And the reason for that was because of corruption. And we aced all of those audits coming out of that, and we understood where we were before and where we were going to go afterwards. What happened before we're going to deal with, we'll put a plan together, but everything forward is on me. I'm accountable for that. We would have also contract reviews. And what we did on the contract reviews was performance reviews. When we had a contract with somebody, we wanted to understand what is it that they said they were going to do, what time frame they were going to do it, how much did it cost, so that we could go back and take a look at it and say, why did you have cost overruns? Because those cost overruns, you came to me in change orders and the rest of these, the mechanisms they used. Did you come in on time, or did you come in over the budget on finance and on time? And what was your safety performance? What did the people then say about the performance that you did on the job that you were being awarded? And so we would rate all of our contractors that way. I also believe in risk reward, which means if you come in under budget and you come in ahead of schedule and you come in with outstanding safety numbers, you should be rewarded. We're saving money. You should get part of that savings as a bonus for doing a great job. And then we would rank all of these contractors. And then those would be the ones that we would award our people to, our contracts to. The planks that I ran on when I was running businesses are the same planks that I'm running on here. First of all is transparency. The second of that is accountability. Third is financial responsibility. Fourth is integrity. And fifth, as I was an advocate for the shareholders, I'm also, right now, in the position of county commissioner, I am the advocate and the champion for the shareholders of Montgomery County, which are all of the taxpayers and all of the citizens that are here. I'm your voice on the Commissioner's Court. I'm Bob Harvey. I ask for your support. I ask for your prayers. And I ask for your vote. Thank you very much.
Next is the Republican Party Chairman. Scott Baker, are you here? Scott?
Out of town.
Gwen! Gwen's here. Gwen Withrow, would you come up, please?
Yeah, hold the chart.
You need a step stool.
Oh, I do need a step stool. Yes, I do. But I'm going to go ahead even without one. And I have to turn it this way. The other way. Oh, I have an easel. Oh. We don't want y'all looking at that right just yet. We're not ready. My easel needs a little training. Well, anyway, all right. I have to go back in history a little bit. I know most of you here in this room, and you've seen me before, but there's a few who haven't. I have to go back to the person before me. Those that know about that know that our party was a disaster. We had a split party, and it was not meeting together, and they fooled around, and they lost our office. We had no Republican office. We lost all the assets that belonged to the Republican Party. And things were just not going very well. I can't remember how many precinct chairs got sued. Anyway, a bunch of precinct chairs got sued by the party chairman, which is not the way you treat your volunteers. You know, excuse me, but the precinct chairs are volunteers, and they work for the party. You need to get along with them. I love my precinct chairs, all of them, and I love working with them, and so that was the difference. So when I came here to Montgomery County, I worked for the state party, and I got involved in this little squabble that was going on here in Montgomery County. And I just couldn't help myself. I just got so frustrated. I said, well, nobody's stepping up to run. And so I did. And I said, we have got to do something about this. We need the party fixed. So I have been working very hard. I have been the party chairman for a year. We now have an office. It's out in Montgomery on Highway 105. So all of these elected officials officials will have a place to go on Saturday when they get ready to file their applications to run. So that's a good thing. And we have a place for people to go to pick up signs. We have party materials there for our voters to come in. They can get help with what's on the ballot. So all of that is occurring. The precinct chair positions are largely filled. There's very few vacancies. And they're meeting together. Yes, they have a little disagreement every now and then. They are a bunch of Republicans and they debate, but that's what they're supposed to do. It's a debated body. So one of the things they tell me that I haven't been effective. So this is why I have this easel up here. Now you can turn it around and hold it up. I wanted to show you my comparison to the previous party chairs. The first column over there on the right is back before the previous party chair, and you can see that he earned about $54,000, and so he really wasn't earning very much, but he had an office. Well, under Brian, you can see that in 4 years, he earned $215,000 in fundraising. Okay, I've been the party chair for a year and a half, and I'm at $233,000 in fundraising. So I think they have been effective. You might ask, well, what do they do with that money? Well, the things we do, we bought some software, which helps us with running a party and helping the candidates out. We have an office. We have to pay rent at that office to make sure that it's there for everybody. We do get out the vote. We don't do it as much for the primary, but come the general, if you look, we turned out the vote for this last election. So those are the things that we do at the party. So thank you to my easel, and I would really appreciate your vote so that we can continue being successful in the Republican Party.
Next is Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3. J. Max Sanders, you're here. And Brittany Hill. I saw you earlier.
Who's up first?
You are, J. Max. Waiting for the screen to change, but you first.
Bueller. Old school ladies joke.
Yep.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. It's a Thursday night. You could be doing other things. I think Thursday night football is one of those. We're going there. So my name is J. Max Sanders. You can call me J. Mac. I'm the Justice of the Peace for Precinct 3. And if you don't know those boundaries, they're different than the Commissioner's boundaries. Precinct 3 is the same as the Constable's boundaries. And we go from 45 at the Harris County line all the way to 2978. We go north pretty much to Wood Forest, just till we get to the Fish Creek Thoroughfare Bridge. Then we head east, and we follow it on from Lake Creek over to the West Fork of the San Jacinto, and follow it all the way down to Harris County. There's about 250,000 people in that precinct, and as a result, we are the 9th busiest court in the state of Texas. Last year, we had 29,500 cases in the court. Think about that number. That's a really, really big number. This year, the analytics through the end of August have us at about 36,500, maybe 37,000 cases. So we've gone up almost just a little bit over 25% in cases year over year. That's where experience comes into play. I love this job. I love being able to listen to people with integrity, fairness, and respect. Everybody's going to get a chance in my court to be able to talk, get their story out. Sometimes there's a bully on one side, Sometimes there's a bully on the other side, and conversation shuts down. At the end of the day, I'm going to give these people an opportunity to speak in my court, and we're going to have an honest, fair conversation. I'm allowed to be able to develop the facts. That's what's something that's very different in the justice court as opposed to in the other courts, is in the justice court, the judges are allowed to ask questions of plaintiffs and respondents or defendants in the criminal case. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm a Razorback by blood, a Baylor Bear by education. After that, I went and worked in Washington, D.C. for 2 U.S. senators. And then I went to work for a Fortune 500 utility company in their federal government affairs. I've got experience in, I was in D.C. on 9/11, and that was one of those things that impacted me quite a bit as I was working in the Senate, is recognizing, hey, there's a target on you. It's very real. There's some bad actors out there. I've believed in this ever since then. That experience translated into wanting to get involved in public service, and I helped in campaigns and working up there. But after that, I wanted to go into small business. Moved to Texas in 2007 to get married to my wife, Kristen Lee. Thank you for being here. We've got 5 kids. We live in the Woodlands, and I've had multiple small businesses. I've been a real estate broker for almost 20 years, and a property manager for close to 15 as well. The primary jurisdiction of the Justice of the Peace Court is going to be small claims under $20,000. So any claim for small claims is under $20,000 is going to be heard in our court. It's not exclusive, but that's the cap. We also have criminal Class C misdemeanor jurisdiction as well, which means fine only. We don't send people to jail. We talk about fines. Think parking tickets, traffic citations, lack of insurance, driver's license, etc. The largest thing is debt claims. That's going to be in the civil side. At the end of the day, I've been able to process cases and go through with almost, well actually, no lag in productivity from year over year. Last year, the 29,500 cases, through August of this year, on the criminal side, we are 106% year over year, and on civil, we are 108% year over year. There's been no downtime in between the previous judge and the previous, judicial administration, and the one that I've started, and I've been in an office now for about 10 and a half months. So at the end of the day, experience matters. It's a huge difference. It is learning. I am on the job. I've been there since January, so every day I'm learning something new. But it's a job I have passion for. There's 17 clerks. I could not do my job without them. And I just want to thank you guys for being here tonight. 4 minutes is up. I'm not going to be the guy that goes over. Again, my name is J. Mac Sanders. You call me J. Mac. March 3rd, as you guys know, is Election Day. Thanks.
Brittany?
Want to make sure I don't go over. Okay, hi, I am Brittany Gable Hale, and I'm running to be your next Precinct 3 Justice of the Peace. I lived and grown up in Montgomery County. I graduated from Montgomery High School, and I went off to the University of Oklahoma, and I received a bachelor's in microbiology. Much to my parents' disappointment, didn't use my degree. When I started working, I went and worked a corporate job for about a year and realized that was not for me. I needed something that was a lot more fulfilling and meaningful. I felt like I needed something that was purposeful. And so I decided that I would go ahead and get my teaching license. And once I did, I was offered a position for an integrated physics and chemistry role or 5th grade math. And even though my background was more physics and chemistry, I thought, oh no, I'm going to do 5th grade math. And being raised with a law enforcement dad, Ryan is not my dad, he's my brother. So our dad was in law enforcement. Ryan is doing a great job, and he has been for so long. But anyways, so back on track. My dad was like, well, hey, don't teach a grade that you couldn't physically restrain.
And at the time, I was like, that doesn't make really much sense. But after teaching and being in different situations, you start to know why. About this time, Ryan was running a big race, campaigning really hard, and he took office, I think, 2012. And around that time, I remember being very inspired to do even more. I was very proud of him. And so at that time, and that was years ago, I was talking to him about becoming a Justice of the Peace. And however, it was not the time. God had other plans for me. So I taught for about 10 years. And then I had a son who I stayed home with. But at that time, I thought I was going to go back to work. And it broke my heart, killed me, thinking that I'm going to go and raise other children and pour into other children and let daycare or someone else raise mine. And I prayed and prayed and prayed to God. I said, please put somebody in my path or somebody in our life that can be with him when I'm not. And he's like, I've got one better. I am going to put you there. And so I had the courage to tell my husband, hey, guess what? I'm not going back to work, and I'm going to stay home. And if we have to live off my savings, then okay. So fast forward, I don't know how many years we're here. Oh, goodness. And anyways, I feel like God has lined up everything at this point. He has said, hey, here's this opportunity, here's this opening. Because I have such a servant heart, and I'm trying to speed it up really fast. But I want to be your next Justice of the Peace because I believe that the JP Court should serve and and reflect the same values as our community. It's a people's court. I have taught our kids, I have served our families, and I want to make sure that this courtroom is for the people. Anyways, I want to maintain accessibility for the courtroom, have maybe other night dockets. I have 5 seconds. And I hope to implement some other programs for truancy and certain things like that. I'm sorry, I'm going over. I don't talk much. But anyways, JP is typically the first and only time that someone might be involved with the legal system. And so I feel like I know that I will deliver fair and impartial decisions.
Thank you.
Okay. Until next time. All right, thank you. If you would like to know more, please come chat with me. I'd like to get to know you if you're not already.
Okay, next we have our current district attorney that's also running for district attorney.
It's a long, hot night, so 1 minute. How about that? 1 minute. I have been preparing my entire life to be the district attorney that you need now. I have been, and I will take care of you. If you like what Brett Ligon has done for this community, then support me. And if you don't, and that's okay. I'll still take care of you. What I would like to do is to say this. There is this beautiful, strong lighthouse in this community that has kept us on the right path in the storms and in the darkness, and that is Mrs. Betty Anderson. So I want to take my time to thank Miss Betty Anderson.
Yeah! Wow. Well, that sped us along. So the next individual, well, do we have any others that are running for office that I don't know? Anybody else that we didn't acknowledge? So our past district attorney would like to speak to you about what he's planning to do.
I think everybody's here tonight because you know what I know.
you know this, Texas goes, the United States goes. And more importantly, the way Montgomery County goes is the way that Texas goes. Now, people talk about the experience they have and the things they're going to do, but when it comes to the Senate, I have been there. There won't be a single candidate in the Texas Senate. There won't be a single person in the House or the Senate that actually been to the border. I have prosecuted the human smuggling cases. I have prosecuted the human trafficking cases. I am the one that makes sure that your border is secure. So when everybody else was here at night and they were sleeping when it was comfortable, I was on the border. I was the one making sure that the criminals were prosecuted. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. And that's me. And so there are 4 things that I know when it comes to safety. People want to feel safe in their homes from high taxes. We need to live, work, and pray in our places, and we need to be able to keep those homes. We've got to do something with our taxes, and we've got to get them under control. Secondly, we have to be secure in our faith. We have to be secure to know that when you go to a public place like a school, that your children are learning and not being indoctrinated. You have to feel safe to send your children to a school where a girl goes to a girl's bathroom and a girl goes to a girl's sports. So once again, we're talking about safety. And lastly, what you don't know, and is something that I do know, is that every sheriff in the state of Texas is a border control sheriff. And why do I say that? Because of drugs, because of narcotics, because of cartel, and because of fentanyl. Every border, every community, all 254 counties in the state of Texas, they're now having to secure their borders. Long before it became popular to say border security, I was the one that said Montgomery County's borders start in South County. When the lieutenant governor asked me to run for Senate, what he said was, and I've told people, had he said power, had he said wealth, I would have turned him down. What he said was duty and responsibility. What he said was, I want you to do for Senate District 4 what you've done for the people of Montgomery County for the last 17 years. And I said I will. But I also know humility. And the reason I know humility is because Pat Tibbs. Pat Tibbs said, Brett, nobody knows who you are anymore. She said, you need to get out there and remind people what it's like to be the Texas Hammer. If y'all put me in the Senate on behalf of Montgomery County, Chambers County, and Jefferson County, I will stand in the ring and I will punch and punch and punch on behalf of the state of Texas. Thank you.
Okay, you're in.
Okay, thank you so much, everyone who came to share your heart, your values, your goals, and it's going to be exciting the next few months. And okay, I want to announce that our next meeting on December 4th is going to be, we're going to have someone coming from Dallas to speak with us, Marilyn Gershon-Slater. She's done a lot of volunteer lobbying in Austin and in DC, but she's going to be sharing with us what she has discovered and report on the issues of the growing threat of Islamism here in the United States, in Texas, and in our region. So put that on your calendar, Thursday, December 4th. And then really we're ready to close. So I'd like let's see, is John, would you come and pray? And then we will leave with God Bless America.
Second Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name, if they will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, I will forgive their sins, and I'll heal their land. There's nothing that we need more than for America to be healed, Lord. So I pray that everyone in this room would take to heart what you just told us, Lord. That we would pray, that we would humble ourselves before you, that we would seek you, Lord, and that we would turn from our wicked ways, and that we would stand against evil, Lord, and that we would stand, and we would stand, and we would stand, and we would fight evil. So, Lord, we just lift this up to you, and I pray that everyone in this room would put that on their heart, and that everybody would stand. We ask this in Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay, everybody stand, and we're going to close with God bless. God bless us.